I understand what you're saying is that there's a period where you haven't even been in the Champions League.
You base it on that period when Arsenal have been in it, bro. That's my point. But you don't base it on years when Arsenal haven't been in it. That's what I'm saying to you. You can't class that. That's like saying Tottenham have only been to one Champions League final since 2009. You haven't been in it for 10 years.
But that's right.
Yeah.
You can't class the past. If you haven't been in it, there's no point saying you ain't been in it for 10 years, bro.
It's right though, that's right.
No, it's not, because you haven't been in it for 10 years. You've only been in it for like 3 seasons.
When it cuts down to it, the long and short is, that is correct.
Bruv, the stat does not add up. It doesn't make sense.
It makes sense, Jay.
It doesn't make sense, bro. I disagree. It doesn't make sense.
Yes, we are back with episode 3 of Everyone's a Pundit. Yes, I'm back with the guys, the original 2. We got my man over here.
Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, you see the P. When you see the P, you know it represents T.
And
yeah, Jason Alexander, big Arsenal fan. Mr. Jason Alex, J Nova, whatever suits you.
so I'm going to add in the socials anyway, so you man can hit them up on the socials. But we thought we'll bring Jason back today because he was a little bit annoyed with how we was going on about Arsenal last week. If some of you saw last week, we was talking about Arsenal. A lot of other things, but we were discussing about Arsenal and their defence and their top 4 shout and all of these bits and bobs. Anyway, I'm Leon Semper. I'm going to put my socials on here as well. But we're going to get into it. So, Jason don't believe that there is a power shift. So yeah, go, take it away.
Let's just start with Patrick's mad shout about the Champions League last 16 round, bro. Yeah. What was it? 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years.
Since Arsenal went past the last 16.
Yeah, in the last 10 years, you lot haven't gone past the round of 16. Is that right?
2009 to 2019 you're talking?
Yeah, correct.
We haven't been in it for 3 years, bro.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's
the last 10 years.
No,
you can't say, minus 3 years
no,
because
it doesn't matter, bro.
it.
You can't talk about a club's record in a competition if they have not been in it for a certain amount of time. So you're including years where Arsenal haven't been in it.
Yeah, correct.
No, you can't do that.
That's how it works.
No, it does not, bro.
When you talk about a team, for example, let's make it very simple and very clear. When you talk about England as a national team, England haven't won the World Cup since 1966. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. There's been certain times when England haven't qualified for the World Cup. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah.
So when they say, England haven't won the World Cup since 1966, is there a little asterisk or disclaimer?
No, they don't. But
England didn't participate.
They word it properly. So let's say, for example.
No, they don't. They just say England haven't won the World Cup since 1966.
So what you should have said last week was the last time Arsenal went past the last round into 16 was in 2009, not 10 years. It hasn't been 10 years.
10 years, Jay. It's
not 10 years, bro.
2019 now.
Arsenal haven't been in it for 3 years.
Yeah, correct.
So you can't say 10 years. We haven't been in it from 2009 to 2019.
But the years are still ticking.
No, but that doesn't. You're saying it doesn't add up to what your statistics is. What you're saying.
It matches.
It doesn't, bro.
It's clear.
Bro,
It's clear.
If Sky, said what you said, and Sky put up a table of Arsenal's record in the Champions League from 2009 to 2019, it would show from 2009 up to 2016 Arsenal's participation in the Champions League.
Yeah.
From 2016 onwards, it would be blank. How would that look on TV?
It would say NA.
Yeah, it looks stupid though. So therefore, it wouldn't add up, bro.
So Jay, so when you're talking about how long a team hasn't won a particular competition or how long, you don't then say, but they haven't been.
Yeah, but no, I'll base it on when they've been in the competition. So let's say, for example, like Tottenham hasn't won the league since 1992. Yeah. That's a fact because you've been in the league since 1992.
Yeah.
So I can use that.
No, but people don't say that though. They don't. They go back and say, Tottenham haven't won a cup or haven't won the league, even though we've never won the Premier League. They don't put in a little asterisk. But the Premier League started.
No, but it doesn't make sense of what you're saying.
You can't pick and mix. No,
it's not picking and mix. It's the truth.
You're trying to sugarcoat it.
It's not sugarcoat. It's the truth, bro. You're talking about Arsenal Champions League since 2009 to 2019. Yeah. We haven't been in it for 3 years. So how is that 10 years? You're talking about years that we haven't played in it.
Yeah, but the years are still ticking.
Yeah, but you can't say 10 years. It's not 10 years, bro.
I'm confused because
it's nothing confused. It's simple
when you look at any other competition, when the teams talked about if they have or haven't won it, same for example, Nigeria haven't won the AFCON since 2013 or whatever it is.
Have they been in it every year since then?
No, they haven't.
Right, so that's what they'll say. They haven't won it since 2015. They wouldn't say.
They just tell you straightforward.
No, bro. No. That stat that you said last week was atrocious. That doesn't exist.
So what was the actual stat then
Arsenal
last week?
haven't been past the last 16 haven't been past the last round of the 16 in the Champions League for 10 years. It has not been 10 years. Arsenal has not been in the Champions League for 3 years.
But when was the last time they got past the last round of 16?
2009.
And what are we in now?
It's not 10 years.
What year? No, Jason.
It's 2019. It's 10 years that you're talking. But Arsenal have not been in the Champions League for 10 years.
I rest my case because that's 10 years.
Have Arsenal been in the Champions League for 10 years straight since 2009?
No. I see both sides here.
Actually, there is. It doesn't make sense, bro.
There is, because what he's saying is that 2009 was the last time you lot got past the round of 16, is what you're saying,
Correct.
yeah? And we are in 2019 now. So his statistic is just basically you lot, for the last 10 years, you lot haven't been past the round of 16, which I understand what you're saying is that there's a period where you haven't even been in the Champions League.
You base it on that period when Arsenal have been in it, bro. That's my point. But you don't base it on years when Arsenal haven't been in it. That's what I'm saying to you. You can't class that. That's like saying Tottenham have only been to one Champions League final since 2009. You haven't been in it for 10 years.
But that's right.
Yeah.
So you can't class the past. If you haven't been in it, there's no point saying you ain't been in it for 10 years, bro.
It's right though. That's right.
No, it's not, because you haven't been in it for 10 years. You've only been in it for like 3 seasons.
When it cuts down to it, the long and short is that is correct.
Bruv, the stat does not add up. It doesn't make sense.
It makes sense, Jay.
It doesn't make sense, bro. I disagree. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
so anyway, you know, we're gonna have to move on from this, because I don't think anyone's gonna win this argument or debate here. But do you agree then, Jay, that you haven't really progressed that well in the Champions League in the last 10 years?
Since Arsenal been in it, no, it's the last 6 years of Arsenal's Champions League. No, we haven't. The last 6 years, not 10 years, because we haven't been in it for 10 years. So I'm basing it on Arsenal's time in the Champions League, not time when we haven't been in the Champions League. There's no point.
But are we nitpicking a little bit there to say?
That's how they do it, bro. They base it on the club's time in the competition. They don't base it on the time when the clubs haven't been in the competition.
And in the last 10 years, you lot have failed to get past the last round.
In the last 6 years of Arsenal Champions League, no, 6 years. In Arsenal's last 6 years,
Leicester won the league in 2016, and then in 2017 they reached the Champions League for the first year in their club's history.
Yeah.
And they got past the last round of 16.
So what does that mean? So we've done that. We've done that in 2006. What's your point?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that the club's gone backwards. It's clear. The
Club's
gone backwards. So
okay, so
in that sense,
so you're talking about clubs going backwards now. All right, let's talk about clubs.
So you don't think there's a power shift either, do you?
There's no power shift, bro. What power shift?
Come on.
What power shift? Bro, put a table right there, yeah, and say put on the table what you believe as a power shift in North London, and I can bring Arsenal's material. And let's see what the viewers see when we both leave the room.
Listen, it's quite clear.
Bro, on real, you could talk about stadiums. You can't bring a stadium to the table, bro.
I'm not talking about stadium.
Alright, so what could you bring to the table to warrant that?
The fact is that Arsenal were up here, Tottenham were down here. Now the clubs are. Even if you say that Tottenham are not above Arsenal, you'd have to say that they're aligned. Even if the clubs are aligned. Yeah, as in Tottenham and Arsenal are both quite equal, which I still don't believe is true. That means there's been
so if you don't believe it, then say that you think.
I'm trying to actually.
No. We don't do this.
So you got to say.
So if Arsenal were up here and Tottenham were down here, which is obvious, everyone knows that, and the clubs now have been like this.
Okay.
How is that not a power shift?
But you're judged on what you win. You're judged on what you win.
How is that not a power shift?
Ain't you judged on what you win?
It's even if we haven't won anything. How is that not a power shift?
How can you talk about power shift?
Your club is not playing Champions League football anymore.
Alright. How many trophies have you won in the last 5 years?
We haven't won any
trophies. How many trophies has Arsenal won in the last 5 years?
3, I think. Am I right? Is that right?
I'm done.
It's not the argument done though, because teams can win trophies and still regress.
No.
Trophies are a competition.
The prime example of a power shift.
Winning a trophy, yes, it is very good, and it is what every fan wants to see. But that is not the be all and end all of.
You're judged on what you win.
You are judged on what you win, but also judged on how the club's performing. Is that correct?
Your performance is not winning you trophies.
Because in the last 5 years, qualifying for the Champions League is not always about winning. There's 4 teams that qualify for the Champions League. Pretty much in most of the strong leagues in Europe. Sometimes it's 3 depending on coefficiency. The last 3 teams do not win the league, but they finish in the top 4 spaces. and then they qualify for the cup competition. So Liverpool, for example, they won the Champions League last year, and they finished 4th the season before that. So again, it's not always about trophies, is it? It's about being able to compete, and it's also about being able to attract the right players. It's also about performances on the pitch, and all of that. In the last 10 years, Arsenal has declined. Let's be real.
That means absolutely nothing, bro.
No, you can attract the
players you want. You can attract all the good players you want. If you're not winning anything to bring in the trophy cabinet, it means absolutely nothing, bro.
No,
because nobody remembers the players you bring. Don't remember.
Jason, no team apart from Leicester, which is an anomaly. No team basically goes from there to there in a year and continues to. Even Leicester, after they won the Premier League, where are they now? They're not finishing in the top 6.
Yeah, so Leicester was a miracle.
It's about, exactly, that's right. So it's about consistency. Even when Manchester City went from being a mid-table team, finishing 8th or 9th to winning the league, they've built on that. You got to build and build and build. Right, but more often than not, teams do not just come out of nowhere and win.
But Man City have been consistent though. They're winning.
That's right. But what I'm trying to say,
haven't done that.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that Tottenham are progressing and will get there.
Yeah, but how long are you going to give Tottenham for you to say they're progressing?
However long it takes, there's no magic number.
So Jason, so would you say then? Let's look at 5 years from now.
Yeah.
5 years from now. Yeah. Spurs are finishing in the Champions League spot. Arsenal aren't, but Arsenal have nicked a couple of trophies. Spurs haven't. Would you then say there has been no power shift?
Yeah, because you haven't won anything.
So basically, the only way there is a power shift
to win trophies
is that Spurs need to win a trophy.
Judged on. Arsenal was in the Champions League for 10 years straight. Yeah, didn't win anything for 10 years. We got battered for it.
What if Spurs win the Carabao Cup?
It's a start. It's a start, innit?
No, but for
power shift?
No, it's not power. It's a start. No, it's a start. No,
now you're contradicting.
No, you've got to be consistent.
So Leon has led you down a path.
You've got to be consistent with it.
You've hung yourself now.
No, I haven't hung myself. It's a start. It's a start. It's a start.
So if Tottenham continuously finish
doesn't consist of a whole power shift.
Oh my God! So then,
come on.
Let's finish the
After what Arsenal won over the years, you're telling me that one trophy consists of a power shift. So you're telling me in 2008 you were bigger than Arsenal then when you won that League Cup?
Of course not.
That's not playing.
No, but then you're contradicting. Let's just rewind and go back to what Jason just said. He said in 2008, when we won the League Cup, we'll be bigger than Arsenal then. I said no. He said no. He said that's his point, right? But if you're saying it's all about trophies and trophies are the only way you determine a power shift, if we won a trophy in 2008 and you guys didn't, could we argue that we were bigger, that the power shifted then?
It's not room set shifted. No, it's shifted completely.
Wait.
It's a start. It's a start.
Could we argue that the power shifted? Because if that's the case, then no, we couldn't. So then you've just killed your own argument.
You know, it's a good argument you raised there. Is it only trophies then that determine power shifting?
Alright, so let me ask you one thing. Yeah, if Manchester City won one league, since 2012 and nothing since then, and you've won a bag of trophies, does that mean Manchester are the dogs of Manchester?
But we're talking.
I see. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be.
What you've won. They wouldn't be. Does that want them to be?
They wouldn't be.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what? You know where I think that it could be a little bit different in this scenario is that Arsenal are not like dominating.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? In that period, we United were dominating. So for City to then come and win one trophy, you can then say, no, the power ain't shifted yet.
Not dominating in the last 10 years.
We were dominating North London.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
You know what, boys? We're gonna come back. We're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna come back and we have other things to discuss, but we're gonna come back and revisit this same topic because I don't think you two are actually finished getting into what you. Maybe you can take a little bit of time to get some notes together and all of that. But what we'll do anyway, like, subscribe if you're enjoying. As I say, pass on to your friends, share, and we'll be right back.